I entered college in 1983, majoring in education. When I took the SAT in Korea, my high school homeroom teacher recommended that I apply to the education department at a college in a nearby city. That meant he was confident I could get in without a problem, and he was right. Since I had always wanted to be a teacher, I enjoyed studying education. But honestly, if my teacher had recommended another school or another major according to my score, I would have followed his advice. That shows how little vision or clear decision making I had for my own future at the time. In the education department, there were about 20 female students and slightly fewer male students. One of the male students approached me saying he was sad because his girlfriend had left him for another student. I already knew his girlfriend since she was also in my department. He was basically asking me to comfort him and even to start dating him. I wasn't attracted to him at all, but I started dating him anyway. Maybe many people wouldn't understand it, but I only learned how to say no much later in life. Since I was young, I often felt lonely and anxious, and I tried to erase those feelings by pleasing others. I couldn't endure any discomfort in relationships. If a friend asked me to play together, I said, okay, even when I didn't want to. Once in middle school, I finally got angry at a girl because her words hurt me so badly. One of my classmates exclaimed, "Wow, can she even get angry?" She had known me since elementary school, but it was the first time she had ever seen me upset. While dating that student, I continued going to church faithfully and visiting my father every week. But inside, my heart still felt empty. Later, he had to quit school because of poor health. He was diagnosed with cirrhosis. He told me that when he was younger, he had been rebellious, smoking and drinking, and he assumed that caused his illness. After his military service, he had wanted to study hard, but life didn't go as he hoped. He had to go to the hospital daily to have fluid removed. Eventually, even the doctors gave up on him and he passed away. That was when I saw the vanity of life. I realized that human beings are born, live, and die. And I began to think deeply about the meaning of life. By then, I had already graduated from college and was back in my hometown waiting for my U.S. visa interview. My oldest sister had a petition for me, my second brother, and my sister who was 2 years older than me. I often went to my hometown church to talk with the pastor's wife because I needed someone who understood my heart. I prayed for 3 months, asking God to lead my life. In the end, I decided to become a pastor's wife so that I could serve God and people and make my life meaningful. I asked the pastor's wife to introduce me to a minister. She said, "I knew you would be a pastor's wife someday," and showed me an old photo of a high school student she had once taught at her hometown church. She pointed out one student, saying she believed he would be a wonderful pastor in the future. When I looked at the picture, I thought he was the most lovely amongst the students. At the time, he was a theology student preparing to become a pastor. He was also leading Sunday school at a church in Seoul. When the pastor's wife showed him my picture, he also agreed to marry me since he had been praying for marriage also. We both decided to marry before ever meeting in person. We finally met in May 1988 for the first time and got engaged that October. His parents attended the ceremony along with my aunt and uncle from my mother's side, since my parents were already in the US. Just 1.5 months after our engagement, on November 26, 1988, I came to the US with my brother and sister.